Hello there, I'm Big Alias, and nothing matters. Nothing at all. In any way, nothing matters. Because André 3000 is releasing new music. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. This is not a drill. Music nerds, rejoice. The music nerds right now, we are all losing our mind. André 3000 is making new music, and it would be the most insane news of the year, the most insane music news of the year, if it wasn't for the fact that it's an 84-minute instrumental flute album. I'm not kidding. But the craziest part is, André, I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stream it. I'm going to stream 84 minutes of you on the flute. And I think that's crazy. I think that's a really interesting notion. And I get very interested by by various notions of legacy and the power of legacy and what you can get away with it. And it's so crazy to think that André 3000, to the uninitiated, he's the one of the most revered rappers of all time. And one half of the most goated rap duo of all time. Of course, Outkast was Big Boy and André 3000. And in the music world, he is like completely revered and untouchable and, just absolutely worshipped within the music world. And he hasn't made an album in 2 decades. He's featured on a few albums here and there, but he's finally going to put something out. And he promises this isn't a troll. He just had to make a flute album because he just loved playing the flute so much. He had to put out a flute album. But I think it's so crazy that this guy has so much good faith and goodwill, built up by, honestly, an unearned level of good faith and will. I mean, he and Big Boy together put out 3 masterpieces back to back, with Aquemini and ATLians and Stankonia, 3 absolute masterpieces in a row. They've earned this. They deserve this. And, particularly André 3000, he absolutely slayed on those albums. But I think it's interesting to sort of analyze the other sides of this, okay, he's doing something weird, and the fans are saying, let him cook. Let's listen. I tell you what, I love this guy so much. I will sit there for 84 minutes and listen to André 3000 fuck around on a flute for a bit. But I do think that there are other artists who explore avenues like this that doesn't quite work. And I think doing the crazy thing, and going a bit weird with it and doing something different really only works when you have a catalogue to base an extremely strong foundation on, and you're building off of something that is very revered and very high quality. And of course, like I said, André 3000 was, involved in some of the best rap albums of all time. And so, of course, he can sort of do whatever he wants at this point. But then, of course, you get other people who kind of try to jump the gun and also just use the weirdness and the wackiness just kind of to stand out, as a bit of a, for lack of a better term, publicity stunt. And of course, one big figure in this, and the most recent figure who has done weird, wacky shit like this is Doja Cat, obviously. And in her case, it's a little bit frustrating because, you may like her music, you may think it's great, but it's not as if she's creating anything particularly challenging or, interesting or anything that plays around with the mold in any way. And because of that, I don't know if it's very earned. But also, even bigger, something that's, even more of a kick to the teeth with the weirdness that she's going through is that it's not affecting her music particularly either. It's not making her music transformative or challenging in any way. It's the same music, but with slightly different lyricism. It involved more in like, oh, I'm the bad guy and I like being the bad guy, blah blah blah, and it's led to wacky Instagram stories and dating racists, and stuff like that. It's not leading to more challenging, interesting music. Whereas, on the other hand, you have acts like Radiohead, who created Kid A, which is one of the most revered albums of all time, and the story of which I love. It's this band who created OK Computer, which is one of the most revered rock albums of all time, and then it became so pressured and so, pushed in and tugged in, that they imploded, and they picked up the pieces and began the process of rebirth and catalogued that as a sound and created an album that's based around the sound of the mechanical process of rebirth into the world that we live in. And it's absolutely beautiful, and they made something beautiful out of that. And it was different. It was totally different. It was electronic, it was slow, it was melodic, very, very soft, but they did something interesting with that sound, and ultimately it really, really worked, and they created a back-to-back double bill that is almost unmatched, with other artists. You have to have that legacy if you're going to go out and do something crazy and, wacky. And in the case of André 3000, I think that's one of the strongest cases. We will listen to him just fuck around on the flute because the guy has earned it. The guy has told us what he wants to tell us and made what he's wanted to make, and it's been fantastic. So now we'll sit back and enjoy him feeling passionately about this weird thing. It's not just weird, it's not just an eccentricity, it's something that he is just very passionate about and something that we're not used to. Whereas with, I think, people like Doja Cat and the like, it's just, hey, check it out, I'm really strange, dude, I'm so quirky, and I'm just not about that, and I don't think a lot of people are, and I think that's why a lot of people see through it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I am still super stoked. I'm not soaked, although close. I'm super stoked for this album, and I can't wait to listen to it. And I'll let you know what I thought of it. But Danny Brown's new album is coming out on Friday too, so priorities, Anyway, those are my thoughts on that, and I guess I'll see everyone friggin' later, man.